Have you ever wondered what happens to the food you eat? To be utilized by the body, it must first be broken down into individual components, which are then absorbed into the blood. This process, called digestion, involves both mechanical and chemical transformations of the food and begins in the mouth. The transformation begins with chewing, a mechanical process also known as mastication. While the teeth cut and grind the food, increasing the surface area and exposing the bonds, the food is mixed with digestive juices from the salivary glands, called saliva. Saliva moistens the food and begins the chemical digestion of carbohydrates. While chewing continues, the epiglottis is open and the esophagus closed to allow you to breathe while you chew. When the food is soft and moist, it is time to swallow. As the food, now called a bolus, moves to the back of the mouth, the brain temporarily closes the epiglottis to prevent food from entering the trachea. The soft palate also rises to seal off our nasal passages, to prevent aspiration of food or liquid into the sinuses. As the trachea closes, the esophagus opens, allowing the bolus to be swallowed into the esophagus, to the stomach, by way of muscular contractions called peristalsis. As the bolus nears the end of the esophagus, a muscle called the gastroesophageal sphincter relaxes to allow the food into the stomach. This J-shaped organ has been waiting for its arrival by secreting gastric juices containing hydrochloric acid, HCl, and enzymes pepsin and gastric lipase, which chemically digest proteins and fats. The secretion of mucus protects the stomach lining from the acid and protein enzymes. In addition to the chemical breakdown of the nutrients, mechanical digestion continues by mixing and churning the bolus until it becomes a liquid called chyme and is ready to enter the duodenum. Once the chyme has been thoroughly mixed with the digestive juices, it passes through the pyloric sphincter and enters the duodenum. The presence of chyme in the duodenum stimulates two important accessory organs, the gallbladder and the pancreas, which assist but are not directly involved in the digestion process. As fat enters the duodenum, the gallbladder contracts, secreting a greenish fluid called bile, which emulsifies the fat, breaking it into smaller particles. The pancreas secretes enzymes specifically designed to digest carbohydrates, proteins, and fats found in the chyme. Further chemical digestion aided by enzymes located on the small intestine complete the process of digestion. The sandwich you ate has now been processed into a liquid that contains nutrient molecules small enough to be absorbed. As the chyme moves along the small intestine via peristalsis, the nutrients encounter absorptive cells in the intestinal lining. The specialized lining is composed of thousands of finger-like projections called villi. The cells covering the villi end in hair-like structures called microvilli that together form the brush border and increase the surface area. Nutrients enter the body by passing through the cells of the brush border and then flow through the capillaries or the lymph fluid to the cells in the body. Undigested or unabsorbed nutrients and other compounds from the sandwich you ate enter the large intestine through the ileocecal valve. As the waste material enters the cecum, they mix with intestinal bacteria, which digest any remaining particles. As chyme travels through the colon, water and other chemicals are absorbed, forming a semi-solid mass called feces that is eventually eliminated through the rectum, the ultimate fate of the sandwich.